just a few months ago now, it's been going on a while, we had that famous email arrive at Michael Cole's laptop, and indeed the lights went out and suddenly things started to change in the WWE universe. Who is the Raw general manager? Now, it's been speculated through the various hints and clues that they were initially giving in those emails that some people thought it could be Stone Cold, a lot of talk about Shawn Michaels, but over the weeks and months I've grown personally to think that perhaps it could be Michael Cole. Now, who else could be sitting backstage waiting to return that could be the general manager? At one point they thought maybe Mike Adamle was coming back.
Mike Adamle, Jesus, that would be pretty tough goal. Cole, I did think about that, yeah, but then I thought, no, it wouldn't. It needs somebody a bit more, you know. Not that Cole's bad, but I think to get it over. But who? I haven't a fucking notion, to be honest with you.
It's one of those things that has been fairly closely guarded, which leads me to think maybe they don't know, and perhaps they're waiting for people who perhaps they might sign, or maybe a legend is scheduled to return. But I think either way, Cole has been such a right-hand man for this person who sends emails and indeed makes all those decisions. So I think one way or the other, perhaps this Michael Cole heel build is going to eventually be brought into whatever this angle is. Maybe Cole is going to be the guy who is with this person when they arrive.
You know, if there was one person I could pick more than anybody that I would love it to be, and I think it would equal ratings, Randy Savage. It would have to be. If there was one person I could pick that would just, in Vince's words, shake things up.
You've actually got me thinking there, and of course with that action figure deal, it's a very likely possibility that Savage has maybe signed something, at least that could put him nearer to the company than he was before. And Savage, wow, I'm a little bit speechless on that. I hadn't even considered it. If it happened, then I'm back for good.
I'm back for good. Yeah, it would be perfect, because not only would it be something that you would never expect, one. Two, it would be a kick in the balls for TNA, because all the cronies are over there now. Hogan, Flair, fucking the rest of them, Nash and whatnot. And it would just be amazing. It would just get him back on commentary, you know. He'd be just fucking. That would just. Yeah, I think I'd be back in.
You know, it certainly strikes me as a marked possibility when you think about how Savage has always been so quiet about things that maybe he would do, or it was always backstage deals with Savage. You know, he'd arrive somewhere, there wouldn't have been a whole lot of speculation, and indeed he does keep things quite private. Now, when he's not in the spotlight, you really don't hear much from him, and indeed it just seems to me that he isn't the honky-tonk man, he's not the Iron Sheik, he won't just say this all over the internet. It really probably will be a huge surprise, and I think if there was anything that they'd want to kayfabe backstage, this would be the one. If this got out, probably multiple people would be fired.
Oh, forget about it. Yeah, I'd say even, yeah, forget about it. They'd probably fire Orton and all if
yeah,
that
it's funny because we're actually talking about it like it's going to happen now.
Yeah. But think if just imagine it was maybe not Survivor Series. I don't know how long they could drag it out. It would have to be a Raw, I think. It would have to be a Raw, and it would have to, you know, next week, or maybe build it for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, we're going to find out who the Raw GM is. They've sent an email in, and then just the music. Think of the fucking pops. It would be fucking nuts.
It's actually exciting to speculate on it, and that's the moment I've waited for, is to see that Savage return. Now, thinking about a Savage return, that's one possibility, but also maybe the big work could be Heyman. Has Heyman been working that he's going to TNA and maybe isn't interested, or is interested, or whatever he's saying at the moment? Perhaps he's been talking to Vince. Perhaps he knows something else is there. Of course, many people would say not a chance. I mean, bridges have been burned there, dismember to dismember.
PG era
and Heyman, yeah, unlikely. But then at the same time, It would be good, but there again, probably more likely to see him in TNA. Who else could I pick out of the hat? I mean, Shawn Michaels. I know fans would love to think that all of that of his full-on retirement was just a work. And I mean, I have to say that when I saw him finish up, if you like, at WrestleMania this year, it just didn't strike me as permanent. Now, maybe that's because I've seen the Flair exit at WrestleMania 24, and perhaps anything after that just won't feel legit. No,
it definitely won't. Yeah, I wouldn't really like if it was Michaels, I have to say. No, I can't do the more DX stuff when Trips gets back of any sort. Just
this is it.
A dead dog, you know.
I mean, Shawn Michaels legitimately says he's done. So thinking of other names, I mean, Savage, the possibility of Cole being in there, maybe a Michaels. Of course, the other one that's been in the frame is Triple H.
Yeah.
Now, Triple H,
the obvious one, isn't it?
Recently promoted.
Yeah. He's, it's the future. He is the future. I wonder how up he is on some stuff, though, you know? I wonder if he's just in the fucking the bubble too much with the boys.
I think there's always a guy that's hands-on, like a Pat Patterson, but these are guys that probably, I think, get more involved. They remember, of course, working. Like, I mean, hey, Triple H still a current worker, but yeah, I would imagine that he has got a huge part in it in terms of picking guys who are going to be on TV and maybe evaluating matches. Yeah, I can see him giving the rundown after the show to guys, you know.
Yeah, I can see him in Vince's ear about certain people as well, you know. Seriously, on the D push with some of them, Caval namely. But then on the other hand, your Drew McIntyre's. I mean, Drew, I don't think he's more, you know, Trips boy than he is Vince's, to be honest, because, you know, there's a lot of similarities between the kind of terrorizing Hunter Hearst Helmsley days and Drew. I think you know that you wouldn't really. I think he sees like a young Trips in Drew and a couple of more years of juicing and jacking up and whatnot. He might get to Trips size. I can see kind of a Drew being a Trips down the road. With he's halfway there. He's got a Tiffany and all. So Trips. I don't really hope the fuck it's not now, to be honest.
What a powerhouse it might be, thinking about it, if you could perhaps see Triple H as heel, a fresh take, and maybe Cole as heel, as his little dog's body. And I mean, Triple H could really work fans in a PG way by kind of working that, well, I control everything here. Give him the regal control. Yeah.
Good storyline if they got him back and they went into the office in Stamford, and you know, if he had his suit in his office and kind of came to a split in the McMahon family, get Vince back for a whole, this is my company, I'm the future of the company.
I like that.
I like that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that one.
These are the things that are going to be, I think, things that they can do without going too controversial. They can keep it all above board and safe, but also storyline us, you know, work or kind of soap storyline into it. I mean, soaps can be aired, you know, early in the day, and they have quite controversial stuff at times. I mean, EastEnders, you can catch that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So why, you know, why it would be a situation that they couldn't do some of the things you see on that? Maybe just the fact that it's US TV. I know a little harder for them to do things, but then it is cable.
It is cable and it is kayfabe, so I mean, it's not rocket science.
That's right. People know at this point what's real and what is choreographed, but also hurts. I think that's a fair way of putting it without upsetting people. But yeah, who's the Raw general manager? I don't know if we're ever going to find out. Maybe they'll drop this before they tell us it's Cole, or maybe Triple H will come out and do hopefully what we predict.
Yeah, that an hour, as we said, Macho Madness.